San Diego County braces for tighter restrictions as our rising COVID cases push us back into the state's purple tier. The preparations now underway at local businesses and why county leaders believe getting out of the purple tier may take a while.
Plus, the ambitious new plan San Diego Unified has to test every student and faculty member if and when they return to campus.
And after joining an upcoming COVID-19 vaccine trial, why the mayor of National City says it's important for her to take part.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
After several close calls, San Diego must now prepare to re-enter the state's purple reopening tier, the most restrictive. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. We have team coverage on this major development tonight, beginning with our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura. He joins us after county leaders said that hospitalizations from COVID are also rising tonight. Anthony.
That's right, Steve. Kimberly, they are seeing an increase in hospitalizations, but our healthcare system is not overwhelmed right now, not by any means. And county leaders say they want to see it stay that way. They are worried about this concept of exponential growth of COVID-19 cases, and they hope that the restrictions here from the purple tier will help mitigate that spread before it is too late.
We know that cases lead to hospitalizations. Hospitalizations tend to lead to death. And so you often have to take action before it is out of control and before you are in a position where there is very little you can do about it.
So here's what we can expect in the purple tier. Here's a list of what can be open outdoors only. That includes places of worship, movie theaters, playgrounds, museums, gyms, zoos and aquariums, restaurants, wineries, family entertainment centers, and card rooms. Now here's what's partially open in the purple tier. K through 12 schools will do distance learning if they're not already open in person. Retail stores and indoor malls will be open to 25% capacity. No food courts and common areas will be open in those indoor malls. Offices will be pushed towards working remotely. Professional sports can continue without live audiences. And here are the places that will be closed in the purple tier: bars, breweries and distilleries, live audience sports, and amusement parks. Now, we can expect to stay in the purple tier for at least 3 weeks, but county officials say that it could take longer depending on how long it takes for us to get those numbers down. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Anthony, thank you. Businesses now have just days to prepare. The new restrictions take effect just after midnight Saturday morning. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo continues our team coverage. She joins us live where the businesses are desperate now and they're looking at all their options to try and avoid this. Laura.
Steve, they are, and they say that this is devastating for business. We are here in North Park at San Diego Chicken Pie Shop, and I want to show you crews were out here working outside, setting up an outdoor barrier so they can seat their customers outdoors. Now, this business is a staple here in San Diego since the late 1930s. Many of the employees have been with the restaurant for over 20 years. Now, when we covered the restaurant's 80th anniversary a couple of years ago, the owner told us the restaurant's dessert baker has been working for the pie shop for 55 years. Now, the employees say they've been successful with to-go orders, but say closing for indoor dining will mean another hit.
It's going to hurt some of our workers because they're going to be laid off again. And hopefully they will be able to keep some of them, but it's going to be very less than part-time now, probably 2 to 3 days a week. And they're only probably going to work like 4 or 5 hours.
Again, businesses have until Saturday to comply with those purple tier restrictions. Now, the outdoor patio here at the pie shop is expected to be complete within the next week, but people inside, employees tell us that they will be open for to-go orders, and they hope that San Diegans will support them during yet another setback. Reporting live in North Park, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
No doubt, tough times for those businesses. Thank you, Laura. Here are the latest numbers for San Diego County. 483 new cases were reported today, bringing our total to more than 61,000. And there were 7 additional deaths, bringing that total now to 915. Tonight, the San Diego Unified School District is eyeing an ambitious multi-million-dollar COVID plan. If approved, the district would be able to test every student and teacher at least twice a month. But with the county slipping back into the purple tier, ABC 10 News reporter Adam Rakusin asked the district when students would realistically be back on campus.
That is by far the most robust testing program that we're aware of any school district, any place in this country.
With one of the biggest school districts in the state comes a big idea. Every student and staff member who may or may not want a COVID-19 test can get one.
Testing is a critical part of this. Our ability to not just open, but to stay open is dependent upon a robust testing program.
The district rolling out a planned partnership with the medical experts at UCSD to offer testing every 2 weeks. It would start with the students and staff currently back on campus and expand with each new phase.
We're saying to parents that we will be confident that when your students come back onto campus, it will be safe.
But when will students be back on campus? The district said phase 2 of its reopening plan would begin for elementary school students on January 4th, middle and high school students later that month. However, on Tuesday, the state threw another curveball. San Diego County slid back into the purple tier.
What's a realistic time frame that kids could be, that the majority, bulk of the students could be back on campus?
That's a hard question because we just learned today about the purple tier, and there are conditions that are not within our control.
District officials say it's likely the next few months could resemble a roller coaster of rising and falling cases. The millions they plan to invest in testing could give them stability in a situation that's anything but stable.
I think this will get us through the first couple of months of 2021, January, February, assuming we're able to move forward with our next phases of reopening.
Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
Board members are meeting tonight to authorize an initial $5 million investment in the testing plan, and they haven't decided if testing will be mandatory. Well, you can keep up with the latest news on the coronavirus by downloading the free ABC 10 News app. You can find it in the App Store and Google Play.
The Supreme Court heard oral arguments in the case of the Affordable Care Act today. Now Americans await a decision. The court's ruling, when it comes, has implications for more than 20 million Americans who currently get their health insurance through the ACA. Today, President-elect Joe Biden defended the law, saying the middle of the pandemic is not the time to take away Americans' health care coverage.
This argument will determine whether health care coverage of more than 20 million Americans who acquired it under the Affordable Care Act will be ripped away in the middle of the nation's worst pandemic in a century. Over 100 million people with pre-existing conditions like asthma, diabetes, cancer could once again be denied coverage.
And right now we want to welcome back Professor Craig Barkas from the University of San Diego. Thanks for being with us. At least two of the High Court's conservative judges, John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, they have signaled they are interested in keeping the Affordable Care Act in place for now and simply doing away with the individual mandate. Is that an indication of the decision that we may see from the full court?
Yeah, your characterization is actually spot on. Court watchers try to glean as much as they can by listening to the questions coming from the justices. And the questions that came from both Chief Justice Roberts and from Justice Kavanaugh suggested that they were more likely to pursue what's called a doctrine of severability. And at issue before the court is the individual mandate that was removed by Congress in 2017. That theoretically could undercut the whole law. That's the argument being advanced, that now that the individual mandate has gone away, well, the whole law must go away. Well, there's a theory of interpreting the law. There's a lot of precedent for this, and it's like this. The court, if it's looking at some legislation and it can just take away a piece of it that maybe isn't good, the remainder shall stay in place. And what both Chief Justice Roberts was saying and Justice Kavanaugh was that, well, the individual mandate was removed, and our preference as the court is to leave intact that part of the law that still remains. Now, you never know what the Supreme Court's going to do. This was simply oral argument, but though that line of questioning from both those justices indicated that they were more likely to line up with the three liberals to give a five justice majority.
There's so much to cover here, but I want to move on to something else before we run out of time. The Supreme Court won't rule on this case until early next year, but another issue at hand are the results of the election. We heard Secretary of State Mike Pompeo say today, quote, there will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. In your opinion, what are the chances they get a case surrounding the election before the Supreme Court?
It seems that right now we have legal action in pursuit of a theory. So, what the theory to get to the Supreme Court exactly has been something of a moving target. The latest, if I understand this correctly, is that in Pennsylvania, they set up two forms of voting, mail balloting in advance of the election, and of course, an in-person balloting. Now the argument is being made that those were not equal tiers, and for that reason, the election has been corrupted. Now, the problem with that argument is that system was set up by the Republican legislature in Pennsylvania. So that creates obviously a credibility issue. But secondarily, since we're on the Supreme Court today, and especially Justice Roberts, the Supreme Court really does not want to find itself in a position of overturning an election that was determined by the balloting of the citizens. And in Pennsylvania right now, I think Biden has something like a 45,000 vote lead. And to after the fact say, well, we're not going to count certain votes, we're going to count others. I don't see the Supreme Court going that way.
That would be a great concern. Professor Barkas, thank you so much.